Hi guys, I'm Mark, and if you're watching this video, I'm going to guess that you're an engineering student, so welcome. I'm going to talk about how I became an engineer at 21. It was a little bit different than how people usually do it. I did go to college, but I started doing that in high school, so I'll talk about that a little bit. And then I'll talk about what it's been like being an engineer in the last 2 years, the last two crazy years. And I'll also talk a little bit about money at the end, 'cause that's what I do on this channel. I talk about money. And I'm going to do that because as an engineer, you'll have way more than you do now as a college student, probably, hopefully. And if you know how to take care of it, you can set yourself up financially pretty quickly. When I first started working, I had like negative $4,000 net worth. And in a couple of months, that'll be about 100,000. And not a lot of people get to $100,000 net worth within like 2.5 years of starting their careers. So I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. And I think it's pretty doable for a lot of engineers. And so just check out my other videos or any other finance related content. And I know it seems like it'd be easy to take care of like all the money you'll be making, but trust me, you'll find ways to spend it. Or if you're like in my situation, you'll find yourself in the middle of a pandemic, 1,700 miles away from home. You don't know anybody, you don't have any money saved, and then you're worried about losing your job, because that's a lot of people are losing their jobs at this time. So I studied electrical engineering, and I'm not going to say the company because I don't want any of my content to be affiliated with them. They have nothing to do with this at all. And, all my views are my own, whatever. But yeah, I just got out of a 2-year rotation program. I went through 4 different rotations, and now I'm in a different role. So 5 different positions altogether. I'll talk about those after I talk about how I actually became an engineer at 21. So I knew I was going to be an engineer since my sophomore year of high school. The local community college had a few dual enrollment programs. There was engineering, there was computer science, criminal justice, there was like a medical science one, whatever. But I chose engineering because my dad did engineering and I was good at math. So that's how I got introduced to engineering. I went to high school for the first half of the day, then I would either take a bus or drive myself to the local community college. It wasn't far at all, and then I'd spend the other half of the day there. The cool thing with this program was that you graduated with an associate's degree. In my case, it was an associate of science in engineering, and I got that done before I even got like my high school diploma, and I thought that was pretty cool, especially because I always felt like I was a little bit behind in school. The reason for that is because I got held back for sports. No, I'm kidding, but I think that's the thing. Like I think people do that where I'm from. It's kind of weird. I don't know if they even make it to college, let alone professional, but it's a different story. But I actually did feel behind for a long time because my birthday's in September, and had I been born 2 weeks earlier, I would have been able to start school sooner. So that's why I kind of felt behind. And this was like my chance to catch up. So with the dual enrollment program, I was able to get ahead by like 2 years. So I graduated high school in 2017. And then in the fall of 2019, I finished with my Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering. Had I not done that, I would have probably been in school for another 2.5 years. And I know 21 doesn't sound like super young to graduate college, but since I was one of the older people in my class, I just turned 21, so almost 20, but I was 21 in like 3 months. So that's how I was able to do it relatively quickly, and I ended up getting into a pretty big company. Luck was a huge part of it, like everything, of course. And then also, I had a pretty good GPA when I was applying to companies. I think it was like 3.85, which is pretty good for engineering. I also worked on my resume and like my interviewing skills, things like that. That played a huge part in that, I'm sure. When I was in high school, I worked at Sonic, and then I worked as a security guard. But that doesn't look great on your resume, especially in my case. I only had 2 summers after I got out of high school to do internships, and I didn't really know about them in the first summer. So I kind of wasted the first summer, and I had just the last summer before I graduated to do an internship, and I did. And that really helped with my resume and then being able to have some sort of experience in engineering. And I ended up getting like 3 offers, and I chose the one I'm at now. So that's how I started my engineering career. And it's actually interesting now that I think about it. I graduated in December 2019, and in late December is when I got the job offer for the job I'm at now. And my start date was actually in like June or July of 2020. And I really wanted to start, so I asked them if I could start in February, and they said yes. And so that was cool. I moved to Michigan from Texas. It was like 1,700 miles. That was an interesting trip because I did that with my parents in a box truck. I did get paid for the relocation, but I didn't get that money until like the second paycheck. So some of it was on me, like the gas for the box truck was on me, and then like I had to do the deposit, of course, when I got there for the apartment, and then I had to do the first month rent, and I didn't have any money, so a lot of it was on credit card, and I borrowed money from my parents because I was absolutely terrible with money at this time. And it wasn't until like 5 months into my engineering career that I realized, holy crap, I'm still bad with money. I still haven't paid off my debt, and I still have $0 saved. And to make it worse, we were in the middle of a pandemic, and people were getting laid off left and right. And I even had friends that lost their jobs, so I was worried. I was 1,700 miles away from home, and I had no money saved. I had debt, and I don't know. I'd probably have to pay the money back for the relocation if I lost a job. I don't know. And it was scary because I had just started this new chapter in my life. I didn't want that to end, and so I started my personal finance journey, you could say. Now, on that note, once you start working and you're making more money, make sure you take care of it. Make sure you consume a lot of content about money if like that wasn't something that was talked about when you were growing up, whether that be from my YouTube channel or from anyone else, doesn't matter. Just consume content around money, and preferably from people that have more money than you. Don't take money advice from people with less money than you. So I've got my YouTube channel here. I'm also posting on my Instagram at Mark the Neil. It'll be in the description if you want to check that out. So I just got to the end of the video, and I realized I didn't talk about like what positions I've been at, and I didn't really talk about my experience in a rotation program. So if this seems like a little out of place from all the other parts, it's because I edited it in. So like I said earlier, I was in a rotation program. If you can do a rotation program, I would highly recommend it, because when I graduated, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So the way the program worked was, it was 2 years, and every 6 months you would go to a new rotation. And I just got to say that some of those I did not like. And if I had gotten into them like straight out of college, if that was like my full-time position, that would have sucked. Like some of them I was like, man, I want to get out of here. To be completely honest, it's not like it wasn't the people, it wasn't a bad job, it just wasn't for me. And luckily, because I was in the rotation program, I could get out of there. I was getting out of there in like 6 months. So rotation program, highly recommend it. You get to learn a lot, you get to meet a lot of people, you get to see different parts of the company you work for. When I got out of the program, I went into a control design engineering position. That's where I'm at now. I started, I think, a few weeks ago. I actually worked on the testing for this team in one of my rotations, and so that's how I learned about this job. And so I thought, oh, I really liked testing, and so my fourth and final rotation of the program, I went into another quality assurance role, and I learned that I do not like testing, but I liked the work that I was testing. And that's how I knew, like, oh, that's what I want to get into. I want to work on the work that I was testing, not on the testing side of it. Control design engineering position I'm at now is for electric vehicles. I did electrical engineering, so I think it's awesome. I think it's gonna be fun. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a little different than usual. It was a little more like freestyle. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want more videos like this, and go check out my Instagram, because I post there. I post on my Instagram a lot more than I do here. So that's the end of the video. Good luck, guys, with your careers. Hopefully you get a job that you really enjoy and have a lot of fun with, and that pays you well. That's a bonus. Take care of your money, and take care. Bye.